Welcome to Capstone, and prepare to witness the technology of the future today.
No one deliberately sets out to make a bad game. When a game is bad, it's either out of incompetence, meddling from the higher-ups, or unfortunate circumstances. Or all three at once if you're Duke Forever. Unless you're Coleco in the early 80s and had the exclusive console rights to Donkey Kong. So you made the ports for your competitors' systems bad to show off how your console is way better. What I'm getting at here is that I'll be talking about a game that I would describe as accidentally good. Because the studio behind it are incompetent buffoons, and it really shows in all their games, including this one. This is Witchaven, brought to us by Capstone, the pinnacle of entertainment. Capstone themselves, well, they are through a name infamous for putting out some of the worst DOS games in the early 90s. The best way to describe them would be like the LGN of early 90s PC gaming. Their own output includes such gems as Operation Body Count, Corridor 7, and Deck War, all three of which have a claim of being among the worst FPS titles of the Doom clone era. That's what they are most known for. But aside from that, they also put out a lot of licensed shovelware, both made in-house and published by them. Like, look at this point-and-click adventure game they made based on the Beverly Hillbillies. How do you fuck up basic navigation like that? This wasn't made by them, but it still had their name attached to it. Based on an obscure tabletop RPG of the same name, Witchaven released in September 1995, and has the honor of being the first ever Build Engine title, officially anyway, because Legend of the Seven Paladins came out in '94. That was unlicensed, except not really. Something happened during communication between the Taiwanese studio that made it and 3D Realms. I don't have time to get into that. But yeah, it was a rush to market to be the first ever game to use this fancy new engine, alongside Deck War, which shows in both titles. Capstone didn't care about quality, to put it lightly, so this game somehow being good is shocking despite everything going against it. Yeah, I said it, I like this game even with all the jank. I can tolerate jank. I mean, my favorite game of all time is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. So you know. So, Witchaven is a swords and sorcery type hack and slash. That's what I'll be referring it as. Technically it is a FPS, but like, there's only 2 ranged weapons and a few spells. There is leveling up and experience, but they're like, too light to call this one an RPG. They only seem to affect like max health and what spells you can use. That's about it as far as I can tell. It's the journey of one, let me look it up. Krondoval. A knight on a journey to slay the witch Ilvirin and her minions, and that's all there is to it. There's 7 pages of lore in the manual, but like, I zoned out trying to read it. I don't think they're saying anything here. One thing I've seen the big three of build games being described as is that they're parodies of certain types of schlock films. The type you'd see my favorite Pack Frost from Milwaukee cover. Duke Nukem is one for various American kinda misogynistic action flicks of the Stallone and Schwarzenegger variety. Blood is one for the horror films, and Shadow War is a mix of anime OVAs, kung fu and John Woo films filtered through a really racially insensitive lens. And similarly, Witchaven is a riff on various swords and sorcery or dark fantasy films of the 80s. Well, Krondoval is silent, for the best probably, since I feel like if Capstone tried to have him voiced, the whole deeply fragile gold would have accidentally collapsed. It does nail the vibes perfectly. It truly feels like a playable 80s heavy metal album cover, or as I saw someone else put it,
playing the FPS equivalent of a Boris Vallejo or a Julie Bell painting.
I love how this game looks pretty much. I mean, the environments here don't look the best. Like, what is this lava structure? Doesn't look much different from two mentioned games on a technical front. In Witchaven's defense, it was the first game ever to use this brand new state-of-the-art engine, but doesn't take advantage of the build engine's capabilities aside from like some room over room. There's like no extravagant set pieces. The closest thing to one we got is this stinky little bookcase that comes down to a bunch of skeletons approaching at you. I think this is what they were going for. Decor makes better use of being an early adopter of the build engine. I didn't say it was good use of it though, but the well done claymation, mostly enemy sprites and weapon animations more than make up for it. These creature designs, oh yeah, I love them. Even the digitized guys look pretty solid, and the witch herself is oh hi Elvira. Fun fact, she is played by an employee at Capstone, one Judy Melby. Also goblins. There's 2 tribes of them who often get into fights with each other. That's a cool touch. The weapon animations themselves were captured from real weapons provided by real blacksmiths from this company called Blacksword Armory. I know, do they look great and feel amazing. They pulled off some amazing sword or axe or pike or mace play here. The metal clanking sounds, oh. The one weapon that does suck though is the bow. It's not without its faults. For starters, weapon durability. Witchaven has a weapon durability system. Aside from the magic sword, they are really fragile and break after you use them like 10 times. Oh god, is this where Breath of the Wild got that from? Except there isn't even any indication when your weapons are going to break other than some vague "this item is damage" message that you may miss often. Hell, there's generally no warning that your potion or spell is going to run out. Another problem is that I found this game to be pretty easy. Keep in mind that I played through this game on skill 2, which is medium difficulty. However, I did try it on skill 4 and the only real change I could notice is that enemies take more hits to kill, which does nothing but add like tedium. The game just loves giving away potions, both cure poison and health restore ones especially. Most of my deaths came from the death bits that instantly kill you upon a single touch, which just feel placed randomly. They give me damn flashbacks. The levels themselves, I would best compare it to like, imagine if the second half of Doom 1 was an entire game. That's how I would put it. Except, Witchaven's lows are lower, just kind of underbaked, but I can tolerate it. Well, mostly. So, in Witchaven's defense, a lot of this design was present in a lot of other early FPS titles, especially once you got past the episode 1 shareware grace period, but Witchaven cranks it up to 11 so often. So remember what I said about this game being accidentally good? It wasn't because I think that over at Capstone they were trying to deliberately make bad games. No, it's because this game is so full of many questionable design choices, incompetence, and glitchiness going on that I feel like this game should have been a burning heap of garbage. I mean, Capstone released Deck War at the same time. That game is a train wreck on so many levels.
Don't be so proud of yourself. Sure, you brought down Rossi, but you made the People's Park sector look like a war zone.
But it's not. It's a decent but a deeply flawed title. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have too high of a jank tolerance. Maybe it's the fantastic combat making me look past everything else. But, like, this is a game where you can cheese this extremely powerful dragon mini-boss by simply taking a resist fire potion, and boom, you are immune because it only breathes fire. They didn't give it any melee attacks like a bite or something, so you aren't left completely invulnerable. Just... why? Did they not... Oh, and the fucking will-o-wisps. Oh god. Tiny flying things that you can barely hit that take a million hits to take down with the most powerful weapon in the game, and have attacks that take away half your life away in a second, including one that T-levels you. What the fuck were they thinking? Or there's the open door spell that just lets you skip portions of a level by simply casting it on a locked door. I don't think they thought this one out. Or this was just a band-aid solution to bad mapping. Or that when you pick up armor, it's plate armor in 150 type 3. What? Or this jump scare that constantly keeps happening. This face just shows up and it does nothing, it means nothing, it just happens. Why? Or how the Great Sword has an inconsistent name, constantly flipping between calling it a two-handed or magic sword. Or the constant glitches I ran into. If I'm not sure how much this is on Buildgdx and not the game itself, I'll get into this later. Or hero time! Okay, what is up with this? This feels like a piece of jank English that you would see in a Super Famicom shmup or something. The like never left Japan. There's just a lot of questionable English across this game. From the manual to the end screen, which
Rendezvous was given a hero's welcome, and his further adventures eventually led him to his own land, his own kingdom. But that is another story.
Oh, I shouldn't be throwing stones. This is a DOS game made by an American company. What's with that? Was this outsourced by a Capstone? That explains why it's somehow a decent game. So yeah, that concludes my thoughts on Witchaven. Repeating myself, it is rough, but endearing and surprisingly decent. Love how it looks, and the combat is superb. It got mixed reviews when it came out in 1995. Sold well enough to warrant a sequel, which came out 6 months later. Oh no, that's a bad omen. Witchaven II Blood Vengeance, which by the way, that's an awesome title. I don't care what anyone says. It is almost exactly the same game as the first one. It's more of the same, with some refinements. In theory anyway. Here's what's new here. Maps have proper names. Character levels are named this time instead of being nearly level whatever number. Weapons enchantment. A few changes to the enemies. The little wisps have been nerfed severely, so now you're pretty much just swapping flies. Thank God. The goblins are gone. There's now a heavy focus on human enemies. The only new enemies they introduced here are imps, and guys carrying various weapons. Like that's it. The manual gives them various fancy names like Sirine, Sentinel, Argophonian, Glansman, but you know, it's pretty much like fighting Mini John Witchavens. I forgot his name, sorry. There's some new graphical updates, like they added mirrors, but oh god, these are rough. And that is all the new things they added. It is just more Witchaven, but shorter with like 15 levels instead of 25. With worse mapping, and it is even more busted. Visual glitches are so common. I had constant crashes, so many times I got soft locked where I either had to reload a quick save, or outright use no clip. Not sure how much of this is on Buildgdx, as I haven't tried this game in DOSBox, but can tell you that I didn't have much issues with the first game, nor any other Build Engine titles I tried, including Tech War. Did you know that they had to reverse engineer it for Buildgdx, as the source code was just lost for both Witchavens, but the first game ran as well as Witchaven could ever be able to, so I think there just hasn't been as much work for a sequel to iron it out, because face it, it's Witchaven II, who cares? And the music, I didn't bring it up while talking about the first game, but there it was just very mini fantasy music that was just fine. Might sound better if you're playing it through OPL, but for Blood Vengeance they tried to do a dynamic soundtrack, but it just feels random when it decides to play. Like sometimes it is just pure silence while you're fighting. And other times while you're just wandering around, it is in full blast. The music itself is all over the place. Sometimes it is the same what was in the first game, but often it plays the action music, which just sounds like a mix of circus music. A 5-year-old screwing around with a Casio keyboard. And a manic episode. It just makes for this experience.